Hey guys, today I thought I'd answer some of your questions. So Sandy asks, do you have goals for 2019 on your homestead? I actually meant to do a video for my goals around New Year's, but that never happened. I do have goals for our 2019 on our homestead. The really hard part about it right now is that we haven't been on this property very long. I think it's been just under 3 years, and it's sat with elderly folks in it for several years, and obviously some upkeep and maintenance stuff just, they couldn't do. And then they had somebody living in the house for I think over a year. So this house kind of, I think, went a little while needing some things done to it, and we bought it knowing that we were going to fully renovate the inside. If you guys have seen the inside of our house, is like traveling back in time. We'd love to do some updating. It's a really cute house and it's totally livable, but we went into it knowing we were going to do updating and haven't gotten to any of it really. I mean, we've done a few little things. We had that situation with the boiler. Anyway, there's been a lot of stuff that we just have to do first before we can even think about cosmetic stuff. Painting the exterior trim and doors, that's something that has just been really needed, but it hasn't been the most important thing. So this summer my goal is to get the house trim painted. I meant to do it last year, as well as the front of the hanger. That really needs painted as well. As many of you know, we had a big surprise. It's just been one surprise after another since we've moved here. I mean, every year something crazy has happened to us. I don't know. It's been a wild ride. But you know that our spruce trees have been just completely wiped out by the spruce bark beetle. We got to see these nice beautiful spruce trees for a couple seasons, and then the third season or second season they started to die, and they died fast. So the beetle came through and killed over 50% of our trees. And Charles is a former wildland fighter, volunteer firefighter, and we just look at all these dead trees and we see the fire danger, and we're surrounded by dead trees, acres and acres of dead trees, and it's scary for a wildfire danger. So that is something that needs immediate attention. So this summer Charles and I are going to be getting as many of these dead spruce down as we can, especially between the house and the hangar, because that's an area where we're going to put in goat fencing. So the top 3 priorities for the very limited window of time that we have here in Alaska to do all the things is spruce trees, goat fencing, and painting the trim. We're going to leave the body of the house the way it is for now because it's not in bad shape. It's not the color I want, but it's not urgent. So that's going to wait for now as well. So those are just the goals, just kind of doing some stuff inside the barn, some little organizational things around the garage and various outbuildings. So that's the plan. So I have 2 questions here that are pretty similar. Mary B asks, why did you choose to homestead, grow food, and canned food? And Deb also asks, what brought you into the homesteading community? Are there any other homesteaders that you connect with up there? We love this. It's just the way of life, the connection with the land, the connection with the animals and the plants, and the sense of well-being that can provide to a person. It's just very rewarding. It's a lot of hard work, but it's just that connection. And I'm not going to say it's a simpler way of life, because in many ways it's not. It's a more complicated way to do a lot of things, but it's a great quality of life. And so I think that's the simplest way that I can answer that. As far as there being other homesteaders that we connect with up here, not really. Charles and I, it might seem like we're really like outgoing people or like socially outgoing people, but we're not. That's a big gust of wind. Hold on. Charles and I both are very private people, and I know it's weird to say because we have a YouTube channel where we share a lot of things and we enjoy doing that. We just really enjoy our home time, and there's a lot to keep us busy here, so we find ourselves not really interacting with many people in our daily life. I mean, I work from home, so no, not really. That's something that I guess that's a void that I would say I fill with my YouTube friends. The YouTubing homesteading community is an awesome community of people that just like-minded people, very different people with all sorts of different backgrounds that have this one thing in common and are very supportive of each other and share their knowledge. And we love the YouTube community, and we're really, really grateful that we have that connection and that tool. And Mary had also asked, do you have any tips on becoming self-sufficient, starting a vegetable garden, and canning? The idea of being completely self-sufficient, I feel, is very difficult. So don't be overwhelmed by trying to do it all, because if you really start to think about like all that's really required to be completely self-sufficient, it's really, really hard to do. So I would say just start small. Start with herbs on your windowsill. Start with a plant, a tomato plant in a pot on your patio. Water bath canning is really simple. It's really not complicated. I would really recommend the Ball Blue Book. It has every bit of information on safety and making sure that the right ingredients are going in. They've been tested. They're tested in true recipes that are safe, and the methods in that book are safe. So I would definitely start with that book. It's a very inexpensive book. I think it used to be under $10. It's probably more like 15 or 20 now, but that is a book I would highly recommend that any beginning canner start with. But just try not to be too intimidated. Figure out those basic safety rules and go from there. There's a lot of things that you can water bath can before you even think about pressure canning that can keep you busy for years. I started out just water bath canning pickles and jellies, and that'll be like endless opportunities for canning fun before you even think about pressure canning. So yeah, there's a lot there to learn, but it's not that hard to start. Get that book though. And on starting a vegetable garden, that is something that try not to do too much the first year if you've never gardened before. It's very easy to get like super excited and try all the things, and then you're trying to learn about all these different crops at once, and then they all fail. So to keep yourself encouraged, I would say start with like 2 or 3 things, and then keep branching out as you figure out how a crop works and the ins and outs and the pests that attack it and all that stuff. So yeah, start small, work your way out. Thank you, Sandy, Mary, and Deb, for the questions. If any of you guys have questions, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll try to get to those in an upcoming video. Thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.